What's good? I'm Day. You, you're the answer. You as a creator, you're the answer. You as an artist, you're the answer. Now, look, everybody, to me, in my opinion, is an artist. Every human being. So, this is for everybody. Even though I'm going to be talking about people who actually create art, who are involved in the arts, I still am referring to people who are human beings because human beings are creative no matter what. Even if you don't feel creative, human beings are creative. We are creators. We create kids, we create opportunities for ourselves, just all kind of stuff, bro. We create in our own life. We create our own world. Even if you're somebody who is a manifester of a negative reality, you are still a creator. You created that. You're an artist. Okay. So, again, this video is for everybody because even if you're not highly creative and if art isn't your thing that you do as your job, like how I do, you still are involved in what I'm going to say right now. So, just listen, just bear with me. Creatives have a role in this life, which is to reflect the times that we're in and to create solutions, to send out messages to people around the world, to send out messages to the people that are like supposed to listen to us and what we do. What I mean by that is like, you can't be for everybody. You speak to a specific type of person, specific group of people. You're supposed to reflect the times to them and display your humanity to the world so that they can see it and they can get inspired by it, and then they can do something in their own life that helps them inspire others. And when we do that, the world ends up actually becoming a better place because we raise awareness. I'm gonna give you a clear example about what I mean. When you go on TikTok, you see very ordinary people who are not even social media influencers. They're just day-to-day people. Now you do see influencers online, but you see people who don't consider themselves to be that at all. They're just a person that you would see walking down the street that has an opinion and has information, has most of all a perspective, and they offer you that perspective. They offer you that information through their camera, through their screen, right? So, there's been so many pieces of content online that have broadened my horizons from day-to-day people who don't consider themselves to be influencers and artists and all that shit, right? I'm sure the same thing has happened to you if you've been on TikTok. It's just a hub of information because it's community. That is creation. They are still creating content. They're creating content. Normal day-to-day person that works at what fucking Starbucks or Taco Bell or the Waffle House, nigga. These people are still creating content and giving you their perspective. Moms, fathers, single people, gay people, straight people, like all the above, handicapped people, all the above. Everybody's on TikTok, and a bunch of people have a perspective that are considered normal day-to-day people. That means they're needed. So what they're doing online is reflecting the times that we're in, and they're giving you information based off of the times that we live in so that we can utilize the information that they put out and better our lives individually or collectively. I'm licking my lips a lot in this video because the wind is blowing and shit, and it's making my lips like a little dry, so bear with me. You can keep looking at my sexy ass lips. Anyways, I'm crazy. Um, yeah, you gotta be a person who puts yourself out there is my point. Like a lot of people are ghosts online. They don't create any content and they just consume. I argue that you need to create as well. You don't need to just consume because your perspective matters. So, the job of an artist, again, a creative, is to reflect the times that we're in and share information based on their perspective. When you're a highly like creative person and you actually have dedicated your life to the arts, it's not about just creating work. It's not just about like flexing and putting your skill on display. It's about actually making a statement. It's about making a statement. And the times that we live in right now are highly, highly controversial. Highly controversial because there is a lot of shit going on in the world that is negative. We have a lot of positive that doesn't get displayed. There's so much. I'm telling you, I live a very positive life. I live a positive life and I'm not involved in consuming a bunch of media. I'm not, especially when it comes to the news and all that other good shit. Like I just don't. And when it comes to politics, like I know how to turn it on and off. I know how to just live my life and not get so enveloped in that. And then I know how to pull it out during certain seasons and like utilize it. And then I'll put it back away. I'll put it in, on the shelf, or I'll put it, in the cabinet that it belongs in. And with that being said, I still realize that I have a responsibility to take all of that information based off of what I've learned and also how I conduct my life, and to put that into my art and display the times that we live in, give people information. So that's me doing this right now. That's me doing this right now. Like I'm creating content for real. Like I create a bunch of content on YouTube, and I have other things that I do in the arts that will allow me to send direct messages to the people that I truly believe are going to shift the culture in a major way, because I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I'm supposed to say. I'm only supposed to do and say a few things, but I'm supposed to do those things excellently. I've narrowed in on exactly what I'm supposed to do with my voice, with my perspective, and how to basically like package that and give it to the people so that life can change. The world that I want to see, I'm supposed to bring about that change in my own way so that we can move a step further. And that's your role as well, whether you're not so creative and you're just a person, who has a perspective, or you're somebody who is highly creative and has a perspective as well. It's really the same. It really is the same. Like again, human beings at our core, we're creators. We just create, bro. We create on a day-to-day basis, even if you don't notice it. Like you create the life that you live, the exact life that you live right now, whether you love it or hate it. You created that life, and you continue to live in it and create it. You continue to water it and nourish it. Like I said, even if it's negative, this is something that you continue to feed, and you can change it at any moment. That's why I argue that you ought to change your life like I changed my life. From what I come from the hood, bro. I come from the hood. I don't come from anything glamorous at all, and I have an excellent story, but I don't have an excellent upbringing. It's just good for a novel. It's good for me to share it with people because it allows me to show them that I'm qualified to help them on their journey. I would not want to be born into that type of life again. It was not fun. So I changed it. I took the perspective that I had from the environment that I grew up in, and I altered my reality, and now I have something different, even though that is me and hasn't left me, my old environment. Like subconsciously it has when it comes to the habits, but when it comes to what I actually come from, the story itself is so useful as I transition to other areas and continue to grow in my life. I'm a creator. I'm a creator of my reality. So me coming from that and me creating a new reality for myself sends a direct message to people. It sends a direct message. My cousin just hit me up last night where she was talking to me, and she said in the last part of the message, like, I love everything that you're doing right now. Like, I love your whole image that you have right now. I see everything, because me and her talk on a deep level. She's like, I see it. And, you know, you're able to now display something to people physically and show them like a different way of living. You live differently now. You're a different person. And that's what it boils down to. It really does. Like, I get to display the creation of my life to the viewer. And it's a political statement. I said I moved away from the States because we live in a simulated world there. Like, the government uh, is the number one enemy of the people. Everything is poison. The food, the water, the clothing, the air, nigga, every single thing. The media, everything is poison. You go and move somewhere else, it's a whole different reality. It's a different reality here where I'm living in Europe. Completely different. There's things that are similar, but for the most part, like, everything is a holistic way of living. It's community based and all this other good shit. You know what I mean? And that allows me to give you inspiration and hope so that you on the other side could say, damn, I can take that perspective and I can apply it to my life so that I can make a change. That is the point of communicating value through your choices as a creator, through your actions, Like I've literally manifested the reality that I want, and a lot of people don't believe that they can. And now I am a direct source of inspiration for people to go to see that they can do it themselves. Like, how amazing is that? How amazing is that? My bad. I'm always apologizing for this damn attire and how it's blowing away, nigga. I gotta really alter this thing. I be fidgeting too much on camera. Yeah, like you you as a creator, i- you're so important in these times because like I said, they're highly controversial and people are going to start having to choose a side. People are going to start having to choose a side because it's getting that nasty outside. It's getting that ugly. You know what I mean? Like niggas is really out here uh how can I say? I don't want to get flagged. They're they're blowing up innocent lives, little lives, female lives, like just colonizing and taking whole lands and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like just evil. Evil is outside and it's on display for the world to see because we got the modern day internet. So there's a lot of like, there's a lot of journalists. There's a lot of independent journalists out there really putting in the work to conduct the real research and put it on display for people to see. And how can you how can you not stand against the evil that we see, the oppression? And there you go right there. That's my point. Is like there's a lot of independent journalists. Those are creators. Those are creators. Those are artists. In my mind, from my perspective, those are extremely aware, necessary artists. Those are people that we actually need. They conduct real research. They dedicate their lives to this. They'll die for this. And they display it to me and to you through online content, and we're able to consume this and we're able to do something about it in our own lives. Our conversations change, our habits change, our overall lifestyle changes. Like if I didn't watch a bunch of the exposés that I used to watch as a kid and all the way up to my adult years to this day, if I didn't watch these things, if I didn't keep my like eyes focused on what's really going on in the world outside of the simulated reality that we live in a lot of our countries, especially the United States or in like the United Kingdom, nigga, I wouldn't have made the decision to move away. I saw like it's getting hot. It's getting hot. And I'm not talking about like the actual temperature. I'm talking about like the political climate. It's getting hot. We gotta change. We gotta change like how we're living. That's what I said to my family. Like a nigga, I gotta do something. I was telling my folks for a long time, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. You oughta leave too. Niggas was just like, yeah, I get it, but like, and I'm like, fuck it. I don't care what you doing. I really do want you to go, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be the first one to go. I'm not waiting on nobody. Damn it. I got two girls in my house. I gotta keep them protected. And so I did it. I did it. Here I am. I did it. It's the greatest decision that I've made to just go, to just get up and go. And that was based off of me consuming creation from other people about the political climate, really paying attention to geopolitics and like just understanding like what strategies I need to set in place to avoid certain things and then for me to be in the right environment to stand on business with a community. And I'm here in Albania and these people stand on business. If you go through the Albanian history, bro, they have stood against their oppressors so many times in history and they were just almost wiped out in the 90s by Siberia. They were under a communist regime and nigga, they took their shit back. And so now they're like restoring everything, all the women over here for the most part are pregnant and have already had kids and continue to make kids, and most of them don't believe in mixing with other races, and I totally 100% understand that. 100%. I respect it because they've had so many of their people wiped out. They don't want to be erased from history. And so even their flag, like what it symbolizes is two birds. It's two birds, one looking this way, one looking this way. The one looking to the left symbolizes that they'll never forget the past. It's one looking at the past and we'll never forget what happened in Albania. And we'll never forget what we've stood against and how we've survived. And the future, the one that's looking to the right, is like we're looking ahead. I believe is we're looking ahead, and we're making sure that I don't want to. If I'm getting it wrong, anybody who's Albanian, I'm still learning. This is just what I've heard. But they're looking at the future of Albania and how they will continue to do that. They'll continue to remember the past and to keep replicating their stance against oppression. And they really stand on that. Like they stand on that today, right now. These niggas are over in Tirana still protesting. They've been doing this for a long time. They're like, we want this prime minister the fuck out. We want him gone. We want him gone. We don't want no uh, Jared Kushner over here buying up our land and colonizing over here. No, no. They're standing against oligarchs. And so I'm like, look, bro, if nobody created content on that, if no journalists were out there on the ground actually, in Toronto with these protesters, I wouldn't have knew about that all the way in the States. I would have had to been all the way over here and just happen to find out. Or somebody would have to travel over to me in the States and tell me about it, and then I have to figure out a way to go see it myself. But no, I get to see it through content creation, through people creating, creators, artists, journalists, influencers. Like, that shit is beautiful. And that's you. No matter if you feel like you're removed completely from the world of creation and art, no. Again, you are an artist. Your perspective matters. You have a great take that we need to hear. And the reason why I know that is because when I host live panels or I join somebody else's panel on TikTok Live, like there's so many different perspectives from day-to-day people. And I just learn. Like people just share information. And I'm like, damn, I'm gonna go look that up. I'm gonna write it down right now. And I go look it up and I'm like, whoa, like I didn't know shit about it. I didn't know nothing about this. Just broaden my horizons. Thank you. Like, this is amazing. So many people have taught me so many cool things just by displaying their perspective, giving me information, lacing me with some game that I had no awareness about. And I do the same thing for people. And that's real exchange. The exchange of information, the exchange of perspective I argue that it's everything. It could manifest so much in your reality. It could change your life completely. Like, if only I knew that my money stretched further in other places and that I could take it and have leverage and create opportunities for me, my family, and for others in the surrounding community that I move into, I'm telling you, a long time ago, my ass would have moved. I would have moved because this last time that I was in the States right before I got here, I wasn't making as much money as I made back in like 2020, 2021, 22. I was making a lot of money and I would have taken that money and I would have just dipped. But I had to learn a few things before I came over to a place like this. I had to learn some stuff back home in the States and I had to become sick of everything that was going on. I was already like, I was up on game. I've been up on game since I was a kid, but like there's levels to this. There's levels. You know what I mean? There's real levels. And I finally reached a point where it was not my breaking point because I was spiritually grounded. I'm all good, mentally grounded, emotionally, and all that stuff. I was manifesting this reality already in my mind, but I reached the tipping point when it came to me being in the States. I was just done. I was done. And I'm like, I want my art to stand for more than what it could possibly even stand for while I'm in the States. Like, moving away is going to allow me to get the new perspective that I need because it's different from just traveling. It's different from just traveling. It's not a vacation that I'm on. I'm actually here. Like, this is my place now. This is me. And wherever else I go, it'll be the same thing. I'm getting immersed in the community, getting involved with the people, learning the language and all that, learning the politics, learning how people really get down and how they see things from their walk of life. And it allows me as an artist to have such a grand perspective that I'm able to speak to people not just on um, a local level based off of where I grew up and how I understand the world from that angle. It allows me to understand the world from a global level as I continue to move around. You know what I mean? Like even now when I do travel, it'll be a whole different experience because I won't just be there for vacation, even if I am there for vacation. Vacay doesn't look the same to me. I'm not just there to like, have fun and turn up and, stay in the nicest hotels all the time and just like stay within that little bubble. I'm trying to get out into the culture. I'm trying to experience the people. I'm trying to make some real friends that I could always be in contact with. And, I'm on a world tour in my mind. I'm on a world tour. And the campaign that I'm going to be running as an artist is going to require me to actually go on a world tour and to present this political campaign to a bunch of people that I know agree with it. And so I'm going to have to uh, get so immersed that I'm able to report back to the world via content and blast my message out to people and say, this is how things really are. Take it from somebody who has lived here, has lived here, has lived here, who has traveled here, traveled here, traveled here, who has friends here, here, and here, and comes from the United States and also comes from the ghetto and was experimented on since birth. Like, this is my perspective. I'm here to share this information with you. Utilize it however you wish, but this is what the truth is when it comes to this matter. That's what I feel like a real artist is. That's what I feel like a real creator is. Somebody who actually stands for some shit and is not afraid to explore mentally and physically, who's not afraid to go on a grand adventure so that they could report back to their community with their findings. I think that that's like such a beautiful journey and that every human being has the ability to do it. Has the ability to do it. Like, yeah, I'm able to see the opposite side of that when it comes to people who don't do it because that's all I grew up around. Like when you in the hood, niggas don't travel, bro. If niggas travel, they go somewhere like Montego Bay in Jamaica. No shade at all. But niggas just go and turn up over there and do their little thing. Or go somewhere in Mexico, go to Cabo or something like that. Chill too. Great. Go enjoy your vacations. But nobody's coming back with like real perspective. You feel me? Nobody's coming back with like a changed life. You don't see anybody in the hood's life actually like drastically change. And you're like, damn, you was just this way. Now you're a different person. It's because of your adventures. And they're like, yeah, I can't unsee it. I can't unexperience it. I experienced it. I seen it. And now I'm going to do X, Y, and Z with my life. Like, I wish I grew up around that. I didn't. I had to be the one who did that on my own. I had to be the one who did that on my own coming from where I come from. And now I want my family to experience that. I want them to go and get the perspective they need because a lot of them are so boxed in and so miserable with life. And I'm like, bro, there's nothing to be miserable about. There's so much information, so many experiences to acquire, so much knowledge to obtain so that you can be of value to other people. When niggas see what you come from and they see what you did just because you made the decision to be courageous and go do something new, to go on an exploration, it changes them. It changes them. People who are hitting me up are like, damn, why Albanian? Like old friends, family members, they're like, what made you want to do that? And we get to talking and they're just like, I really could see that. I really could see that. Damn, you inspiring me. I could really see that. And I'm like, bro, go get yours. It's not supposed to look like me. If you want to come over here, hey, I welcome you with open arms. I'll show you around. I'm getting really involved. I already got a real good Albanian friend who's my realtor. Nigga could get you a place if you want one. Save up your little bread. Come over here. But then there's other places to explore that I don't know shit about. And I would love for you to go and explore so I could, travel over that way and have somebody that I know and get immersed in another culture. You feel me? We could talk about these things and we could really build. We could really build. The people that I know that travel back home, they're different. But even though they're different, they haven't made that decision to be brave enough to just be like, no, I'm out. I'm gone. I'm gone. And so me being the one who does it or who did it, I'm like, man, I don't feel superior to those people. Don't get me wrong when I'm saying this. It's just I'm able to offer better insight when it comes to being nomadic when it comes to being a foreigner. You know, I really am. And I haven't even been here long yet, but I realized so many things. Like all the things that I thought when I was back home, the the question marks that I had above my head in regard to specific things, this place and making the decision that I made, it confirmed those things for me. It confirmed those suspicions that I had about where I come from, what we come from. It really did. And I even say it like while I'm here looking at people who have never traveled outside of this place. I'm like, damn, you got a lot to learn. You got a lot to learn too, but I'm learning from you and you can learn from me, you know? It's so beautiful just being a creator. It's so beautiful expressing yourself to the world and letting it reach the people that it's supposed to reach. TikTok again is a direct like reflection of what we're supposed to be doing as humans. I love TikTok. I love TikTok. There's a bunch of shit that I hate about TikTok, but I love TikTok because it's just constant swiping of humans sharing human shit. And that's how I'm able to tell the difference between AI and like humans a lot of time online is because AI will have information, sure, but they don't have like a personal experience and you could hear it. And a lot of people come back with information and a personal experience. They'll say, this was my experience with this. This is what I come to find with this. And blah, blah, blah. They're just saying real nuanced stuff that you gotta be a human to experience. You can't be no robot behind a digital screen experiencing these things. That's how I'm able to tell a lot of times. It's a language. And I just look forward to seeing more people do that and make real statements that shift this world. It's already happening as we speak. It's a highly creative time. The feminine, the divine feminine is making a comeback. It was it was imprisoned for a long time. A lot of people try to kill it completely, but I feel like it's coming back full effect, full force. And I feel it in me. Like the divine feminine is very, very strong in me and has been since I was a little boy. I'm telling you, people who know me know back in shit 2016. I would, yeah, 26. I would argue, no, nigga, since like 2014, and especially after the scamdemic, like I was making real political statements during that time, and I was ahead because I was looking from life at a different angle, and I really wanted to reflect those things and talk to people about them and have conversations. And there was a community, but it was very hidden because the algorithm was like suppressing everything. And a lot of people during that time, they wasn't faced with the reality of the fact that the government oppresses us. So I wasn't having the conversations that I wanted to have, and I was very agitated by that. And then out of nowhere, it seemed like it happened overnight, even though it wasn't overnight. It was due to people like myself and people who really are legitimate journalists, putting their life on the line to say the things that they needed to say to reflect the times and give the right information to us. And eventually, things like TikTok came about, and the algorithm was something different than what it even is right now. It was the wild, wild west. You could say and do whatever you want, basically, almost. And people had a lot to say that had great information. And so now we have this whole like culture online on a global scale, at least for the people who live in countries that can have TikTok. They have a new perspective. They have a different perspective than the generations before them. I even see it here where I'm at. The younger generation is different from the generations that are older. Even like Gen Z is completely different from the millennials out here with their information and what they consume a lot of times. And we're creating this culture of awareness, of holding niggas accountable by exposing people and calling out what's unjust, and just kind of like getting back to like real moral standards, and kind of just trying to rid all this toxicity and poison out there, this super hyper toxic masculinity. And that exists within males and females. It's not, it doesn't discriminate based on gender. You feel me? It's an energy. It's an energy. Hyper toxic masculinity exists within both males and females. And the divine feminine, real pure femininity, real balanced femininity exists within males and females as well. and I love to see it. I love to have conversations that I'm having these days with people online and offline, and I'm like, damn, we see eye to eye on many things. You really do stand for something, and you're reflecting that in your life, whether it's online or offline, and I love it. You know, so we need to really get back to that and double down on this, triple down on this. Like, it's the time for campaigns to be ran. It's time to make real statements, loud, bold statements. No matter who you are, where you live, what you come from, it's time to take the perspective that you currently have. Don't wait on anything. It's time to take the perspective that you have and to actually do something with it. Am I falling on me? It's time to do something with it. It's time to activate the divine feminine in other people, is what I'm trying to say. It really is. It really is. Cause if we don't if we don't raise this awareness, and if we don't raise this vibration, if we don't put this energy on display, um, the world the world will suffer. The world will suffer. It's suffering right now, but it'll continue to suffer. It really will. It really, really will, because there's a power that's trying to fight to stay in power, but it knows that it's losing right now, and it knows that if we continue, it's over. It's game over. And just imagine a world where there's so much freedom and so much peace. We don't know what that's like in this lifetime. I know it has happened on Earth before, but they've had a long reign. Like I said in one of the older videos, I mean not older videos, previous videos, one of my prior videos to this, the church has been on top for a long time, to the point where we're now discovering, like, you know, digging up old ruins and whatnot from the church, and its influence on the world, seeing how it conquered. Like, when I was looking at Portugal, because that was the first place I was gonna move, I was looking at Porto specifically. And that whole town, I don't know if the rest of Portugal is like this, but that whole town, Porto, nigga, it is the church. The church suppressed the divine feminine completely. It stifled the artist's creation, just in general, unless it was to create for the church and the church's message. And some beautiful things came out of it, some beautiful monuments and whatnot, but like, it wasn't it's still suppressed. It's still suppressed. This kind of perspective, like me doing this right now, me dressing the way I want to dress, and me speaking the way that I want to speak, nigga, I'm dead. I'm being publicly mutilated before the men, women, and children, to be made an example out of. Like, I would not want to live back then. People like me could not exist back then comfortably at all. I'm too I'm too rebellious. I'm too radical. And so right now we got this window open where you could be radical. And it's such an amazing thing. And there are consequences to some degree, but it's more so like cancellation and the fear of, like, will, ban you from this and that. And it ain't real. The church was really burning niggas at the stake. They not doing nothing. Oh, we'll throw you in jail. Nigga, whatever. Right now we have the opportunity to move where we want to move, travel where we want to travel, say what we want to say. Choose the right place for you. Choose the right place for you. And if you are somewhere where you're good already, stay there and make the messages that you're supposed to make. Put out the messages you're supposed to put out. Really say what you got to say. Make a difference right now. It counts. Every little thing counts. Every piece of TikTok content counts. It really does. Every piece of YouTube content counts. For real, I stand on that. It really does. Those two platforms have changed my life dramatically. They have broadened my perspective dramatically. So now I'm out here and I'm just like, I'm laced with game from other people's experiences. I'm laced with game. I know how to avoid this, and I know how to do these things over here. And it really allows me to manifest a different reality. It's not just digital content. I manifest a different physical reality. You can too. I'm sure you already have in many different ways. Shit. So much information out there. Now you be a person who puts out information. That's what I'm saying. Don't just be a consumer. Be a creator in the digital space, in the offline space. Help people, bro. Yeah. I think that's it. I love you. Go fucking do it. Peace.